And welcome back to another episode of Cat's Cup Podcast. You're here with your boys, Christian and Cody, and we have a very special guest here tonight with us, the greatest reporter, commentary, media personnel person in the world, Janson, Hoskins. What's up, brother?
Not much. What's going on? Hopefully, I can get a whole episode in tonight. Nothing will get in the way of that. So, thanks for having me back on.
Hey, bro, we truly appreciate you, Janson.
Yeah,
because we know
100%.
Out of all three of us here that you were going to have about 90%, 95, 98% of all
99.9.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Of all knowledge on this podcast. Because me and Cody, we don't know anything. But Janson
Yeah,
is the
Janson,
encyclopedia.
he knows everything.
He knows.
like the Webster.
Exactly. So, boys, Saturday, it wasn't as big of a catter day as we thought it was going to be. We were expecting a
It
big
was an
fat
awesome
W.
Vandy day. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Great Vandy
It
day.
was one of those.
Anchors down, right?
Oh. Yeah. Tell how Cody's going to be tonight. Fiery. But yeah, the atmosphere, when I first showed up to the tailgate, I saw a lot of blue, even though it's supposed to be blackout. I get it. Kentucky's blue and white. But you expect people to kind of jump in on that, but I guess it was too short of a period. So what were your guys' thoughts on like the last second blackout? What?
Oh, I was laughing at Bush. Sorry.
Oh, what'd he say? I don't have the
He
comments.
said Cody knows all. He says, "All right, just screw Cody."
Oh yeah, just put him on the back burner.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm used to it.
So Janson, what were your thoughts on the blackout? Were you a fan of it? Were you against it? How'd you feel?
So I was heavily for it, from the start of it. Whenever I was really hoping that they'd do something special. He was worthy of a blackout. I heard that. I heard, Kentucky's colors aren't black; they're blue and white. I heard all the excuses, all that stuff. But I'm a fan of it because, for one, recruits they like these different alternate uniforms. They love stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
That's one. But another thing is, I don't know. I have this mentality of if you look good,
You feel
right?
good.
No, you played good.
But we didn't really hold up the last part of that. But I think it was a little bit of last second notice, but I still thought, they could rally behind it. And they did a decent job, but if I had to guess, it was probably anywhere from like 70-30. Like there's quite a bit of blue in there from what I could tell.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I have a black Kentucky jersey, and it'll
You're
never
not allowed
be
to wear
worn.
it again.
Yeah,
You're not allowed to wear it again.
Never wearing it again because both times I've wore it to games. It's we're 0-2.
You want to guess what other game he wore it in, Janson? You want to guess?
Is it this year?
Yes.
Yep.
South Carolina?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I bet threw him over the balcony for wearing it. No, I'm just joking.
Buddy, I'm like a cat. I land on my feet. It don't matter.
Scratch your cat. No, I'm sorry.
But yeah, I think it would have looked cooler if more people would have bought in. But I get a lot of people's their kind of thought process on it. Vandy, their primary color is black, so I kind of get their standpoint there. But they are the away team; they're not allowed to wear. They got to wear like a white jersey.
Well, their primary color, like their helmet, is black, and they're gonna probably wear black pants. I bet they wore the black pants on purpose, because they could have went all white. They could have went all white with the pants, but they did that on purpose.
For sure.
Yeah, I thought we should have saved it for Auburn and did like a stripe, because I like the stripe, or the blue on one side, the black on one side, or not blue and black, but blue and white on one side. But I do like the blackout. I think it's good in the appropriate setting. Like I said, no, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, I will say, I like that better personally. If you can coordinate it to where one half is blue and one half is white. I think they did that against Florida a couple years ago.
Yeah, we did it last year against Florida.
Or last year, okay,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I really was hoping it was going to be the all black. I wanted the all black. I miss the black helmet. I don't know why we don't wear the black helmet anymore. Like, I love the black helmet with the alternate logo. I think that is sweet. But I guess Stoops don't like it, or whoever decides that. So, but
I'm a fan of the new logo. Not a lot of people are.
I do too. I love it. I do too. I really like it.
So sorry to interrupt, boys, but somebody just DM'd me, Bush. He said, do this with all three and let us know what y'all choose. Okay, so it's a graphic from Fox College Football, and it said, if you had the power to simulate your team's season, which option would you choose? And it says, how far would you simulate? It says, sim to the college football playoff national championship, sim to bowl games, sim to transfer portal, or sim to next season. Which out of those four would you guys take?
Sim to the transfer portal.
So are we talking about in regards to this year's Kentucky team, or is that what are we?
Yeah, like as of right now, if this was in a video game, where we're at right now, where would you sim to?
I mean, if you can promise me that they're going to make a bowl game, I would say simulate it to the bowl game.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of how the season goes, I mean, I know a lot of people are like, bowl games don't mean as much anymore, and they don't, but it's still fun for the fans to take a trip and enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at on that.
Now, it also depends, are we playing on Heisman mode or are we playing on recruit mode? Because if we're playing in recruit mode, take me to the national championship. If we're playing in Heisman mode, take me to the transfer portal because we ain't winning another game. But no, I'm just joking. I would say transfer portal.
I agree. I'd want to see what kind of talent we could bring in. I mean, I thought it was, I saw a few reports. It was like, oh, Kentucky's bringing in like some big dogs, through the week, and then we see a couple guys kind of flip their commitment, and now they're committed to Kentucky. I thought that was kind of impressive. I mean, even after a loss to Vandy, we're flipping 3 stars. Like, I know they're not like 5 stars or 4 stars, but still flipping a few 3 stars. Those are the type of guys you can kind of.
We're still waiting on Michael Skinner. Still waiting on him. Which last thing I heard, he was leaning a little bit more towards Kentucky. I don't know if that's right or not. And then the corner from Purdue, is it Galloway? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Galloway.
Yeah.
Waiting on him. And hey, Georgia just lost a 5-star quarterback at Nashville, Tennessee. So you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
If you all know how I just said that, you know why I said it like that. If you've been to enough Kentucky games, you know why I said Nashville. But
every time you hear Barryon's name get called, and Cody just looks at me, he goes, Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee. I love how he says that, but I don't know. I think you do end up getting Michael Skinner and Galloway. I think you get them too. Unless something just unless South Carolina just goes on a winning spree or something, and he's like, I like South Carolina better. They know how to win football games.
They send the house.
Yeah. Yeah. The hard sell. They use the hard sell.
Yeah, the hard sell. That's okay.
Yeah, and we're using the soft sell. But I don't know. I was a little shocked. I didn't hear much about the safety at Missouri. Dylan Williams. I didn't know that one was a thing. And then Quisenberry, I had heard on Quisenberry for a while. I don't know why he went to West Virginia in the first place.
Mm.
I don't know if it was NIL money or something along those lines, but no, it's always good when we get I feel like that's something we've always been good at is getting 3 stars, 3 and 4 stars. We're never at a 5-star level yet. Hopefully we get there at some point.
Yeah.
No, glad to see it.
Before we go any further, I just want to do a little ad read before we get any farther because I will forget.
I will forget it.
I will forget it. But whether you are looking to rent a vehicle or are on an insurance claim or planning your next vacation, Cumberland Auto Rentals is here to help you. They are proudly servicing the areas of Ewing, Pennington Gap, and Harlan, Kentucky. You can reach them on Facebook or call us 276-861-2710. They are open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and Friday from 8 to 4. Go check them out. Oh, is that a Hot Wheel?
It is. It was on my desk for some reason. No, I was not playing with Hot Wheels earlier. Boom, boom.
Cody.
I'm a child. I'm a child in a 23-year-old's bottle. I guess I'm a bottle. I'm a bottle.
You are a bottle.
I am a hot, sexy bottle.
Oh my goodness.
But also, I wanted to bring up something, and I feel like after every win and every loss, the mood for every game is just different. Like right now, half the fan base is like, okay, we got to get rid of Stoops. After the Ole Miss game, everybody's like, okay, Stoops ain't too bad. It just keeps changing. Are you okay over there, Cody?
I'm disagreeing with you, but go ahead.
No, I mean,
I'm agreeing. I am agreeing with you. No, I'm agreeing with you.
No, I mean, that's just that's the vibe. Like if you look on social media,
I'm agreeing with the vibe.
It's just so up and down. But I finally came to my take on it, and I'm gonna get a little biblical with it. And so, let me find it. I made some notes on the good old Bible app. Yes,
gotta love that Bible app.
Oh, no doubt. And let me find where I've highlighted them. Let's see. Okay, so in Exodus 13, 17, and 18, it says, when Pharaoh finally let the people go, God did not lead them along the main road that runs through Palestinian territory, even through that was the shortest route to the promised land. God said if the people are faced with a battle, they might change their minds and return to Egypt. So God led them in a roundabout way through the wilderness toward the Red Sea. Thus the Israelites left Egypt like an army ready for battle. Okay. And then in Numbers 20:12, it says, but the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, because you did not trust me enough to demonstrate my holiness to the people of Israel, you will not lead them into the land I have given them. So in this, I'm going to connect this to Mark Stoops. I think Mark Stoops is Moses in this situation, and I believe he has led Kentucky out of Egypt in a sense of being the bottom tier of the SEC and just a laughingstock of all college football. But I don't think, Bush with a great analogy said Aaron is Vince. I could see that. But sometimes you got to move past that coach to get to that next level. And in this, Moses didn't demonstrate that trust in the Lord. So he said, you will not see the promised land. And then Joshua later, who was underneath and learned from Moses, and he was the one that led the Israelites into the promised land. And I believe, I'm not going to say a certain coach like everybody else is deeming this guy to be the savior of Kentucky football.
John.
Yeah, everybody's saying John Summerall. But, I mean, I could see, that's just how I'm feeling about it. I mean, if we keep Stoops and Stoops kind of turns it around, awesome. I'm here for it.
I'm all for it.
I'm all for success, and I don't care how it's done. I don't care who's leading the charge. But that's just kind of the analogy I'm feeling right now.
I ain't trying to be a Stoops hater. I'm not. Not at all. Because I appreciate what he's done for the program, like you were saying. Stoops has probably done the best he's done for the program, the best he could have done. But it's always good for change. There's nothing wrong with a little change. I mean, you've seen what our basketball program has done. Everybody thought John Calipari was the savior of college or our basketball team. He won us one national championship and then quit. He started losing in every single game of the tournament. So, and I think Mark Pope is going to get us back to where we, as a fan base, think we are supposed to be. And running in deep running deep in March Madness, winning games in March. But I do want to say that it is time for a change. But like Christian said, I wouldn't be if Mark Stoops wins, like if he upsets Tennessee or upsets somebody else that he's not supposed to, great, love it, love a Kentucky football win. But I do think it is time for a change. Hey, I'm not a Stoops hater. I just said I'm not a hater. I just said it's not.
You said, I'm not a hater, but I'm gonna hate everything this man has done or does. You're literally the Kendrick verse right now. I hate the way that you walk, the way you talk.
So I have a question for you. I'm going to go off of that. So you said, if he beats Tennessee, beats, another maybe team that we shouldn't beat, is that enough? Is that enough for you?
No. I don't want it. I don't want them to. I don't want it to be a Joker Phillips situation. If you know what I'm talking about. Who did he beat? I'm pretty sure he got an extra year on his contract. Who was it that he beat that he wasn't supposed to at the end of the year? And I'm pretty sure it gave him another year. Was it not? Because
I vaguely remember that, but I couldn't tell you who it was.
Because I oddly remember a wide receiver beating a Tennessee team that we weren't supposed to beat. Brian Gaskin on Facebook got it. We weren't supposed to beat Tennessee. I'm pretty sure that he got another like a year, did he not, for beating Tennessee? Or everybody thought he was going to just because he beat them.
Yeah.
Or that he didn't get canned at that moment or something, maybe.
Yeah. But I think we said this after the South Carolina game. It would be the most Kentucky thing ever that he would go to Neyland and beat Tennessee this year.
Yeah,
it would.
Yeah.
And it would be a Kentucky thing for him to beat Florida, Auburn, and Tennessee back to back to back. But guess what? Cody's not hopping on the hype train anymore because Cody's tired of it being hyped up all year and then we not do good all year. So, yeah.
No, the one thing is like I know it sounds bad, but I would rather lose on the road, if that makes sense. Because right now, at home against SEC opponents, I believe we're 0-3 at home. Yeah, South Carolina, yes. Georgia, and Vandy, we're 0-3 at home. We're 2-3 at home, and 2 of those wins have been against Southern Miss and Ohio.
Yeah.
I'm mobile.
I was about to say that was a change of scenery very quick.
Yeah. He's in the whip.
I'm in the whip.
He's going.
He's in the Janson mobile.
Yeah, I'm going to take off now.
Can you ride on the back of your vehicle Janson mobile, please, so people know that you
get it wrapped?
He's like,
yeah, right.
That's Janson. That's Janson.
Yeah.
Just get your face all over it and have it in your face.
Now, Janson, I don't know if you know this is legal, if this is legal or not. It's nothing bad. But you know how you see like news companies and everything that have the windshield backed out, like whatever
wrapped.
I want a cat's cut one on the back of my truck, but I don't know if that's legal or not for me to have one like that. Is that legal? Do you know?
If you can see out of it, then potentially. Like
well,
if it's like a one way. But I don't know because I've been in a situation where my tent was too dark at one point and a police officer pulled me over and they made me remove it. So yeah.
I'll have to ask.
So I'm a bad guy to ask it about that.
Bush said it is
cat's
legal.
Cut. It's cat's cut, so it's legal.
Yeah, it's literally all I'm wanting is like the ats for everybody that's in cat's cut and whoever we've got sponsored at the time on it, and then the big cat's cut logo in the middle.
That would be dope. That would be dope.
Yeah,
I'll be driving into Knoxville a lot. No, but I didn't know if that was legal or not. But Bush said it's legal. I trust Bush. I do trust Bush.
Yeah, but it's. I just don't know how to really take on like getting rid of Stoops. Like, I mean, I would like to see something change because, like, I mean, at the end of that Vandy game, there was a few penalties that just really just shot the team in the foot. And it's just like we can't get past these stupid penalties late in games. We always seem to choke these close games. I mean, other than a few of them. It just feels like even going back to that Ole Miss game on that 4th down, I was like, I like that you're going for it here, but I really didn't think we were going to convert on that. I'll be honest. Like when we converted, I went nuts because I really didn't see that happening. But I mean, just like the false starts, the holding penalties, like we got down to the goal line, like the 1 yard line, and did not score. And then just like 2 horrible botched special teams things.
I feel like we really beat ourselves more than Vanderbilt beat us. I feel like undisciplined football, that was the worst. Like that's the worst I've ever seen it. Like just the penalty, the false starts. Like I understand you may get a false start every so often, but you don't do it at the 1 yard line. That is the one place you don't want to do it. And you're a college athlete, and like I said, I understand that it may happen a couple times, but you're also at home, and and especially I think 2 of them was what it was Marquez Cox. Didn't he do 2 of them? You're a 5th-year player, should be in the NFL, and you're doing that. Well, and like I said, I know it happens, but
it all stems down, I believe, to the discipline that you get from your coaching. And like if you got you go look at like the Bamas with Saban and like Kirby Smart. They're not. I mean, they might have a bad game every once in a while, like something like that happens. But normally, like these teams that are just like drilled like discipline into their head, like they don't have that. That's why Bama win like 8 championships or something like that with Saban, and
that's why Tulane and Troy were doing so well.
But yeah, it's just I don't know, man. It's a lot of man, that was an aggressive sneeze, Cody. Man, he just sneezed like his brain out of his nose.
Powered up there.
There's a hole in the wall.
Yeah. He did the little head bat, shoulders up, and then
So one quick thing about the penalties and stuff. There was a penalty on Vanderbilt. You was talking about the goal line stand there. That I think Stoops declined that penalty, and it was like 2nd and 2 or 2nd and 1, or like they were on the goal line, right? I'm confused on why he didn't accept that penalty, and then you have four downs, right? Because then it becomes 1st down. I don't know if you recall that.
I think that was on extra point.
Was that on the extra point?
Yeah, that was after Dane caught the touchdown pass.
Okay.
And we hit the field goal, and then they blew it dead before he actually kicked it, so we had to
Let's talk about Dane Key. I'm sorry. Let's talk about Dane Key for a second. What are we smacking people on the helmet for after a catch? Just walk off, man. What are you doing? Why are you being a child, for one? That's childish. He had the big fumble there, which that drive, like Brian Gaskin, he's talking about it in Facebook. He's asked a couple questions. I'll try to get you answered. I'll try to answer your question, Brian. But fumbled it in a good drive that we were having. Just like what we're talking about, just undisciplined football, and it's so aggravating because I feel like we see it every single year.
Yeah. And I think you got to have that level of discipline to take that next step too.
Yeah.
Like silly penalties that happen, like in that game, they really cost you wins. And when you just keep repeating that, it happens. Like you're just going to keep chalking up L's throughout the year.
Yeah, and you got to have players step up too. I mean, I know it's a lot on coaching, but I like what who was the linebacker? Jameis Dumas Janson. I think KSR was asking him, is how does it feel? Everything like this. He goes, it sucks. I don't like this feeling. Mm-hmm. Him coming from Georgia, they don't lose. So you come to Kentucky, and the hype that was around the team at the beginning of the year, and you're doing what you're doing right now. If I'm him right now, I'm regretting maybe a little bit leaving and not playing, because he was started at Georgia. He was a starter. So and I understand his frustration by losing everything, and he's like, we're gonna have to change. Something's gonna have to change, and and he was pissed off, and he has the right to be pissed off. And I'd like to see that out of the coaches a little bit more, but it's good to see that out of the players, though. It's good to see that out of leaders of your team saying like, yeah, there's something wrong. This ain't what I want to be. I don't want to be losing every week. It sucks. So I'm gonna let you all talk for a minute because I feel like I'm talking too much. But
yeah, but moving into that Florida game, I know you guys have saw it. We actually have a little bit of bright news. Hearing Chip Trainum might be back for the Florida game.
there was a picture of him practicing. Did anybody see that picture that UK posted of him practicing? There was nothing on his hands.
That's good.
So I don't think he'll play. I don't think he will, unless Janson may have heard something else. The UK knowledge man down here.
Knowledge man.
The knowledge man. He does play. I think it'll be limited. I don't think he's not going to come out and be a starter. He might get a couple snaps. We know Chip is a power back. He's built like a C-Rod, kind of like not Josh Allen, Ray Davis, just a bigger build running back.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need 1-2 yards maybe on a third down, you might could put him in for a brief period just to see if you can get that and see if you can get some things going. But it's not going to be very much, I don't think.
Okay. Yeah. See, like power backs, I mean, I feel like your hands are really important, especially for bigger running backs, like you said, because for one, you're running at pad level. Where's the first thing you're going to hit if it's not the pad? Your hands and your arms are getting hit. So, hands are a big thing, and I get why they've been sitting him out for a while because, if he re-injures his hand, he's out for the year, and, that loses his potential for maybe, scouts and stuff like that to look down on him a little bit for not playing a lot. But, I'm excited I've been excited for him to come back. But I'll be happy if he does play limited, and I 100% agree with you, Janson. I think he won't play much, but you may see him a couple times.
Yeah, I definitely think he'll be on a snap count. I think you'll still see a lot of DSK. You'll still see a lot of Wilcox. I mean, I think if Wilcox ties his shoes a little bit, he might be getting some more snaps according to Stoops.
Can I say how stupid that was when I read that? Dude, I about punched my phone how stupid that was when I heard that. How dumb. And I'm not talking about Wilcox either. You all know who I'm talking about. Well, I'm gonna quit talking.
You're good. No, if he's running that good without his shoes tied,
let him play without his shoes tied, man. Come on,
man. Get him some Velcro. Get him them Skechers that light up and put some cleats on the bottom of them.
He had Marshawn Lattimore runs, man.
Get him them old people shoes with the Velcro on them. Throw them out there, man.
Get him some 200-mile-per-hour tape and wrap that bad boy up.
Has anybody heard on Jason Patterson? Have you heard on him, Janson? I don't know if he's out this week or not. I've not looked at the
friend of the show.
I don't believe that he's out. I don't. I'd have to go back and look, but I just don't know if he's. You got DSK number one. And, of course, Wilcox, despite all of the stuff that we've heard, he's still number two. Now, I love Jason Patterson. He's a talented young freshman, but I don't think he's still probably third there on the depth chart. And it'll be fourth if Chip comes back.
Yeah.
When talking about the running back room a little bit, and I'm going to go on to – sorry to interrupt you, Christian. But you got to be excited about the running back room if you can keep – the guy that you're recruiting for next year, Marquise, if you can keep him coming in next year, and you'll have him, Patterson, Wilcox. If Chip don't play a lot, can he medical redshirt, or is he gone? Can he?
He can.
Has he already missed enough games?
Well,
I mean, you're allowed 3 games if you medical redshirt. Am I correct on that, or is that just?
I thought it was 4.
Oh, 4 games.
I think you can play 4 games.
But it also depends on if Chip, if he thinks he's ready to go to the NFL, or if he thinks he needs to stay a year and get more reps in. Because I think he can be an NFL back. He's obviously got the build for it, and he's got the speed and the strength for it, so he can be a really good NFL back. But scouts haven't seen him play a lot. I mean, he's got the Ohio State tapes, but NFL scouts really like to see like newer tapes, obviously. So
recent stuff.
Yeah, a lot of recent stuff. So
yeah, from a lot of my friends that are Ohio State fans, they were telling me like Chip was just really like he was still talented, but he just kept getting buried in the depth chart. It's kind of like right now, like a Jason Patterson, like what's happening to him. Like he's a really good back. He's just bottom of the totem pole just because of like where he's at in college.
The Jason Patterson thing is just
he's young.
I think he's young. And, at the beginning of the year, we talked about Wilcox probably being over Patterson, and Patterson got that start over him, and he had some big runs. That first game. He had some good runs, and Wilcox has been playing good too. So, and I think they're probably almost about even when it comes to who's better and who's not, or who's the best. I think they're right neck and neck with each other if we're comparing both of them. So, I don't know.
Yeah. So, Janson, I'm going to give you a few stats, some key stats for this Kentucky-Florida game. And I want you to just kind of point out what really stands out to you. So, offensively for Kentucky, they're averaging 20.5 points per game. That's 104th in the nation. Yards per game is 321.7, 105th in the nation. And third down conversion percent is 41.1, which is 57th or 53rd in the nation. Fourth down conversion is 50%, and that's 69th in the nation. Florida's offense, they average 24.6, which is 73rd in the nation. 357 yards per game, which is 84th. Third down percentage is 36.3, which is 87th. Fourth down conversion is 42.86, which is 101st in the nation. What stood out to you there?
Probably Florida's third down percentage, converting on third down, because you said it was like 86th. Is that correct in the nation, or
87th?
87th. So, and it was like 40 something or 30. Well, what percent?
36.4 if you round it up.
So that's what I would be attacking if you look at it on Kentucky's on the defensive side of the ball. Just attack them, make sure you're stacking the box maybe on third down, just so they can't convert that as easily back on the field.
For sure. Cody, what stood out to you on those offensive stats?
It's, the offensive play calling this past couple weeks have been so confusing to me. Now, I could be wrong on this, but how much playing time did Gavin Wimsatt get in that second half of the Vanderbilt game? I don't think he played a lot at all. Like, I hardly ever seen him. I didn't think he played a lot in the first half because I told Christian as soon as he got in, I said, please throw the ball one time, just throw it. And it was a deep shot, and it was a great pass. Great pass. And, I think there was a penalty on that play.
Yeah, DPI.
DPI. But we got to just keep running the ball. That's what we've been good at. I mean, Kentucky's always known for the running game. Your offensive line does good blocking. Your offensive line does good run blocking. They're not really good pass blocking. I mean, they've gotten better. They've gotten a lot better at pass blocking since the beginning of the year. But you just got to keep running the ball, man. I mean, I don't know why we quit playing Gavin there for a while. I don't know why we didn't keep running the ball with him a little bit more. And I don't know if he may have got something happened to him or something. I'm not sure on anything like that. But I think a running attack is just – it's not unstoppable, but it's good enough that I think you can win. I mean, look at the 2018 team. We ran the ball all over everybody and won 10 games.
Yes, but I'll stop you there just for a second, if you don't care. It's not near as good as that 2018.
Oh no, I wouldn't say that. No, I'm not saying that. That 2018 team is hard. That's hard to beat.
That slow, run the ball type of grind it out type of offense. I just don't know if that's the way anymore. But that's.
I agree 100%. But I just don't trust our passing attack enough to go with it. The majority
outside
of the
Dane
time.
Key.
Well,
Yeah.
if Danke doesn't act like a child,
even though he had one of his lesser games in the past few games, I mean, he still had 8 catches, 81 yards, and a touchdown.
I mean, yeah, Danke's a good receiver. He's got to tone it down.
They let Vandy players get into their heads. That's what's happened. They beat.
I feel like
Vandy
anybody gets to Barryon Brown going to Barryon. I feel like everybody gets to him. I think the water boy, somebody, hey, Barryon, you suck. He gets mad. He's like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. No, but I just don't trust our passing game enough to rely on it more than our running game. I think you just need to run the ball against Florida. If it ain't working, toss it over their heads and maybe it works. I hope it works. I'd like to see the passing game be more successful. Running game has been successful. I mean, I ain't worried about our running game. It's always successful, always doing good around the ball. We always got good backs, and our offensive line somehow is really good at doing run blocking. But I really do like to see our passing game get a little bit better.
Yeah. But okay, so boys, here's the defensive stats for these two teams. So Florida's defense, they allow 27.6 points per game. That is 77th in the nation. 416.4 yards per game, which is 99th in the nation. Fourth down conversion rate is 41.4, which is 78th in the nation. Fourth down conversion rate is 66.7, and that's 101st in the nation. That's Florida's defense. So Kentucky's defense, they allow 14.5 points per game, which is 9th in the nation. Yards per game is 251.5, which is 3rd in the nation. Third down conversion rate is 36.5%. Fourth down conversion rate is 66. So they're both tied at that 66.7 for 101st in the nation on that. But red zone scoring, that's where it's a little different. So for Florida, red zone scoring is 85%, which is 74th in the nation. Kentucky's is 73.3, which is 17th in the nation. So
can you say the Florida stats or this defensive stats again, please?
It is 21 points per game, 416 yards per game, 41.4% on third down, 66.7 on fourth down.
So they're very good on fourth down.
No.
I think the biggest. Sorry.
No,
go ahead.
66% of time, that's what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
they're allowing that.
Gotcha.
The biggest thing I see there is you said they allow 460 yards total per game.
Yeah, they allow 189 yards per game on the run, which is 106 in the nation. Wow. Pass is 227.4 yards per game, and that's 72nd.
So Cody might be right in this instance. Run the ball. If that's if they're that bad defensively on the run, that might be an opportunity to
Yeah. Like Kentucky almost holds teams 100 yards less running per game.
Well, we let Vandy's quarterback about do 200 yards on us last week, so
we actually outrushed them in that game.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, we got them by.
Cannot believe it. I'll be honest, I can't believe
20
it.
yards.
What makes that? I'm gonna go back to the Vandy game for just a second. What makes that Vandy game so aggravating is that the quarterback, and I'm not even gonna try to remember what his name was. I know he wears number 2, but
Pavier.
Whatever. we would get like you could almost smell him. That's how close we got to him, and he would just scoot right up to the pocket, and he was gone. I'm like, dude, can we not catch the guy? Like, yeah, I know he's a good quarterback, and he may be the next Johnny Manziel or whatever. He may not. He may even lose the rest of the year. He may just be Alabama and Kentucky. I know he lost to Georgia State early in the year, but I'll cry if they beat Texas at home in 2 weeks. I will. I don't know what else.
That'd be so funny.
It would, unless Texas ain't the number 1 team in 2 weeks. They got Georgia. Who knows? I think they'll beat Georgia by maybe a touchdown or 2. I think Texas is that good. I think they'll win the SEC.
I think that's the game Quinn Ewers kind of takes that QB1 in the draft.
Okay, I want to make this. I know we're talking about this Kentucky podcast, but does Arch Manning leave?
No.
Now is Quinn Ewers gone this year? Or has he got one more?
He'll go to the draft.
Yeah,
I forgot he's a Carolina Panther.
It's not a great draft.
Hey, no, Cleveland Brown, but you all got Deshaun Watson. You all don't need nobody.
He ain't gonna be here much longer, buddy. Tell you that. No, for a fact, he won't be there much longer.
He'll be somewhere else. I'm not going to say. Not
state
that
penitentiary.
Exactly. I wasn't going to say
Penn
it,
State. He's going to the state penitentiary.
but going back to it was just really aggravating how he would get into the pocket and we would collapse the pocket and he would just literally wiggle his way out of it.
Well, that's one thing I've noticed, like just watching football. I've noticed, like, when you have your edges and they collapse the pocket on these mobile quarterbacks and you leave a huge gap, like when the DNs go wide and they try to just come in and kind of sack them on, like, coming off the edge. These mobile quarterbacks feel that pressure and they just run through the gaps just because they're so quick.
Well, see, like, I'm used to, like, Deion Walker always being there ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm used to having, like, Deion be there, Keyshawn be there, Octavius be there,
Weaver.
Somebody being there ready to get the quarterback if he steps up in the pocket, or a linebacker being there, or have a QB. I don't know if we ever had a QB spy on him all night, which we probably couldn't have ran that all night, but I feel like you could have done it a little bit more just because you knew he was getting out of the pocket on you and getting 6 yards a game every time he did it. Yeah. Or getting a first down every time. You could have had, like, Jackson do that on him, or even have JJ stand right there just to make sure he don't, like, if you collapse on the outside, make sure he doesn't get up. Like, just make him throw the ball, make him mess up, and we needed turnovers. And I think that would have turnovers is what we needed, but we killed ourselves with penalties and all that stuff. But we're done talking about Vandy. But I'll stop talking about
Vandy. But going into that Florida game, what's one thing on both sides of the ball that you want to see Kentucky utilize and just kind of progress from that game last week? Janson, we'll let you go first.
I'm with Cody here. Keep the whole. I don't know. I didn't know how I felt about it at the beginning of the season with the two quarterback schemes, bringing in Wimsatt. I think it worked for them early on in the season. I'd go back to that, but I want to see him throw the ball a little bit more. He's got an awesome arm on him, you know. Maybe so, but that just allows, you know, you have to plan for that a little bit more. Don't just automatically think that he's going to run the ball kind of like in a wildcat option, you know. Yeah. That he can actually throw the ball. You know, I would try to emphasize that a little bit more on offense.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Now, I'm not saying – okay, so Graham Mertz, did he get hurt early in the Florida game or was it almost midway? Because obviously I wasn't paying attention. I was just keeping up with the score, but I don't really know when he got hurt.
I don't either.
I just know he won't be playing.
Yeah.
But, again, for some reason, and I'm going to go back to when we had Florida at home, 2019. What's his name? He went to Arkansas. Now he's some tight end in the NFL, or was Felipe Franks.
Mm-hmm.
We had Florida. We were going to win the game. And then Kyle Trask had to come ruin it. Kyle Trask coming off the bench, had to come ruin it. Hopefully that is not the same situation we come into this time. But like Janson, just like we were saying, cannot let him get out of the pocket and run all over us. It's going to lose the game 100% because, I mean, it's like Vandy. We lost the game because of that. I mean, we couldn't keep him in the pocket. We got to keep them in the pocket. We got to make him throw and make mistakes. And you're going to win the game with turnovers. And if you keep running the ball down their throat, and if you're doing it the whole game and they can't do nothing about it, you're going to win the football game. It's just, I mean, it sounds simple, but it's really not. But I like to make it simple. Like, I hope it's simple, but I know it's not simple.
Well, I think, like, the offense, I think sometimes we get too caught up in wanting to make a big play because I see a lot of these routes are, like, deep route concepts. Like, you'll see some guy and he's on a post route and he's like 30 yards up the field. Like, we're looking for these like big time plays. And I feel like we need to like simplify that though, because like our offensive line, I know that's who we've got, and props to them for showing up every game day. But like it's not the best. It's not what we're accustomed to these past like 6-7 years. It's a little bit down. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of new faces, not a lot of new faces, but just some guys in different positions this year compared to last year. But like if we had a lot of these like just check down routes and just like kind of just like a slant, have a guy on a slant or a little just a little like what's it called, zigzag or whatever, where they just zig and they just like 3 yards out, like just these short routes, we would be, I think, so much better because it would open up that deep ball.
Yeah. Or a comeback route, a simple comeback route. I mean, you have route runners in Macklin, Dane Key. Now, Brown, I don't think is the best route runner. His thing is outrunning somebody. That's what. But you have Fred Ferrier, who's an excellent route runner. I mean, so I agree with that.
And like going to your point where it's like we're running so many deep routes and all this stuff. Our offense, like I'm not saying anything bad about our offensive line, but our offensive line can't hold that long for you to run deep routes like that. I think you can thrive on the shorter little hitch routes and all this different thing on the shorter routes. You can thrive on that because you've got one of the best receiving cores in the country if you use them right. And I don't think we're using them right. Now, Dane Key, on the other hand, I mean, our offensive line, like I said, has gotten better week by week by week. But the offense is so confusing. I don't think we're where we need to be offensively. I think that the scheme is completely off where it should be. But I mean, run the ball, we do great running the ball. The passing, I mean, like against Ole Miss, I mean, it looked like what it should have been all year. We were running little things across the middle of the field, like Dane Key. That's what Dane Key was doing, running little routes out and then cutting back in and getting more yards. I mean, it was working.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like Christian said, there's too much stuff trying to get down the field. It's taking way too much time. And going to Brock, Brock has to learn how to get rid of the football when he gets out of the pocket and quit wasting time. Like, I understand that you're trying to find an open receiver, but you cannot hold the ball that long. Like Ole Miss, it killed me because he kept getting sacked every time he'd roll out of the pocket. He was taking way too much time trying to find a receiver down the field. But
I think he kind of improved in that. I think against Vandy, like I felt like he was kind of more, like just a little bit quicker with his decision making, just a little bit.
Good night, Bush. I appreciate you, brother.
Hey,
man.
Appreciate
Sorry,
you,
guys.
Bush.
I didn't interrupt you.
But yeah, it's. I want to see the offense put one big game against like an SEC defense. Like I just want to see one big game. Like go out there and put a 40 burger on a SEC team. But before we transition into some, do you have something, Janson?
No, I was just going to say real quick. I don't know. I don't know if it's overcomplicating things. It kind of looks a little bit. It looks similar to last year with Devin Leary. It feels like I don't know, and I can't judge Bush yet because I haven't seen enough of his play calling. But I don't know if it's situation with Brock, the offensive line, or if it's just a combination of the things, right? Over complicated play styles. I don't know. But I'm just hopeful that they can figure something out.
Same here.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, as we switch to a little bit about basketball, a little more exciting, the more exciting time to be. Yeah. But before we do that, Janson, let's get some score predictions for this Florida-Kentucky game.
I'm trying to be unbiased. So I don't see us putting up more than 21 points. I just don't. So I think I think it's going to be hard. It's always hard down in the swamp. It's hard to play there. It just is. Even if they're having a down year, their fans always typically come out, right? So I'm going to unfortunately say 24-21 Gators.
24-21 Gators. Okay. Cody, what's your score prediction?
Unfortunately, I think that there's nothing going to be fixed offensively, but it would be the most Kentucky thing to go beat Florida. But I'm going to say that we don't use the running game like we should be using it. I think you're going to try to get deep shots because we don't know what we're doing half the time. I think you lose. I think you're going to lose 35-10 Florida.
Dang.
I think you just fall apart. I hate to say that, but I don't think your offense gets going. It being at Florida and it being at night, I don't think Brock can handle it. Not saying anything bad, but I just think where Brock's not played in an environment like that and started, it's going to get kind of confusing for him.
That night game's going to make a big difference.
That's going to show you if Brock Vandegrift can handle SEC football. Is going to be Saturday.
It's different even at Ole Miss at 11 Central. I mean, it's just it is.
Yeah.
So I think
people ain't got their tailgate on by then. You know, they've just woke up.
I'll say 27-10. I'll go a little bit lower. I think your defense kind of plays well through the first half, and I think your offense not helping you enough. I think your defense just is like you can't. I mean, we've done all we could. You guys aren't helping us out enough. We're still trying our best. We're gas. I mean, we've done all we can do. You all aren't helping us. So I think you lose 27-10.
And I think I'm gonna be the only one that picks the Cats. And I think it's just going to be due solely to these three players. I think these three guys are going to show up because they know what it means to play in the swamp. I think it's going to be Deion Walker, J.J. Weaver, and I think Alex Afari is going to have a game that you look back in years to come. You're going to be like, wow, look at that impact he had in that game against Florida. So I think those three guys right there are going to win you this football game, and I think it's going to be 14-10.
Ooh. Low scoring.
Yep. I don't think either offense is going to get anything going, and I think the first team that scores will drive the momentum of the entire game.
Don't disagree with that.
Yep.
So
I like it.
That's where I'm going with that.
Hopefully you're up.
I like your optimism.
Yeah, hopefully we're wrong and you're up.
Yeah, I think that defense is going to step up because they looked really good against Ole Miss.
I hope so. Well, we also just played Vanderbilt and looked like crap. So
that was because we couldn't get we had no drives at all. I think after in that second half, we looked like we gave up. I think that was a lot of it. But they still showed out. I mean, honestly, they didn't allow over 300 yards in that game.
No.
I think it was like
Vanderbilt should have beat us worse than what it was.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I think they're starting to get on that roll of getting turnovers, though. I think that's a lot of it, too. They're starting to get more turnovers. But moving into basketball, Big Blue Madness was last week. Janson, you were there, correct?
I was there.
Tell us a little bit about it.
It was wild. That was my first Big Blue Madness as media. I typically go as a fan, but that was the first time going as media. They rolled out the blue arena.
Carpet.
Oh, it was awesome. What both the men's team come out, do pictures, things like that. Just kind of like, like you see at a movie premiere, all that stuff. It was just really cool. The new floor new floor. The glass floor that they brought in for, Big Blue Madness was amazing in person. I don't know what it was on TV, but in person it was awesome.
Yeah, a lot of those videos looked insane, man. It looked like one of the things you hated to miss, and were very upset, like me that missed it, couldn't go.
Yes, it was probably. I remember going to the Big Blue Madness whenever John Wall was there. I mean, that's that was still number one. That was an awesome Big Blue Madness. But this one, the energy there, it was real, unreal.
But I like what you said, Janson. That would be nice if that was our court all year. That would be kind of cool. You hit a three and the court just
explodes, goes crazy.
Oh man, them teams would cry so bad though. Like, let's say like Colin
I
Chandler.
couldn't see because the light it's too bright. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see where I was shooting the ball. It's too bright.
No, it'd be like they would like hit a three or something. The court would like just kind of spaz out or something, and then like they'd inbound it and run out of bounds or something. Like they would throw a fit.
And in the Mark Pope style offense, you might have to do like an epilepsy warning or something.
Yeah,
because of how crazy it's going to be this year.
Man, they're going to be splashing.
Talk about the court. I forgot. I love that he put the Kentucky State logo back in the center of the court. I love it. I know that's probably happened for a while, and I like the women's team doing it too. Now, Janson, I'm going to ask you this because I think everybody that I've talked to, because I want to go watch a couple women's games because I think the women's team is going to be very good. I don't know if you're going to go watch. I'm assuming you probably will.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks I'm weird for going to watch the women's games. I think Christian's kind of.
We just think you're going to go try to pick up some ladies.
That is not. That is. I mean, maybe,
Cody's going to be like,
really.
"Hey, ladies," and they
hey.
I think Clara Strack's a little too tall for you.
Hey, Cody's a big dude.
Hey,
He's
I'm
like
6'5".
Hey, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm 6'4".
I did not know
Janson.
that.
Cody was a highly recruited man in high school. He was like top 3 in the nation and was in history class one day, got a paper cut, and he was like, I can't do this anymore, and then retired.
I was like, I had to retire. Just too much.
Oh, man.
There's a lot of blood. I mean, there was a little drip on the table, and it kind of almost made me pass
the pressure
out.
got to him.
Yeah,
he said, I couldn't imagine life with it, living with this injury anymore during the football season, so he just retired.
And here he is now.
I told Coach, I showed him the cut. He's like, son, I understand. You follow your dreams. I'm like, I will. Coach, I appreciate it. He gave me a slap on the butt, and he said, attaboy. So
Cody was 18.
That was how that went. I was 18 years old, ladies and gentlemen. No, it was legal.
It was legal.
Oh, my God.
Okay, it's okay, though. That's the football story.
But out of everybody there, who was like the guy you were like, oh my gosh?
Talking about the roster.
Yeah, like you're like, okay.
Andrew Carr.
Andrew Carr. Okay.
That man is. I think he's going to surprise some folks. He's a deadly shooter. He's like the 10th rated power forward in the nation. Like, you know, I don't know. In Mark Pope's style of offense, I think he's going to flourish because he can hit that outside shot, but also he can back down a guy, and he has a nice little floater as well. So I think he's going to go for several like 20-point games. I'm very, very fond of Andrew Carr.
Now, was he announced a starter or no?
Probably not, because in my opinion, it'll probably be Jackson, Lamont.
I would say Bria, Kobe.
Kobe Bria,
Williams.
It might be Andrew Carr.
I was about to say, I think they could put Carr there at power forward.
He probably will be the 4 because Jackson's going to come back up.
Unless they go unless they put Karakusa in there just for a guard, because Jackson, Robinson, he's got some height to him, so he could play that.
6'6" though.
He was taller than that. He was like
6'6", 6'7". He's not.
He's still a big enough body to go rebound for you.
You could play small ball if you wanted some more
defense
scrappiness with her and Lamont. You could potentially do that.
See, I feel like if you wanted to go that small ball route, you'd put Owe in there at the 4.
Oh, I keep forgetting about Owe. I forget.
Dude, I can't wait for him to hit.
Did you know his brother plays for the Ravens? Did y'all know that?
That's his brother?
Yeah, his brother plays for the Ravens.
Yes, I knew that.
I didn't know that.
Story.
I seen that the other day. Somebody posted on Instagram, it was like, shout out to him for going to support his brother in Cincinnati. I was like, he's got a brother that plays for the Ravens? I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's where I saw it too.
I didn't know that.
That was pretty cool. Who was on the women's side? Who's somebody that impressed you?
Her last name is Hassett.
Oh, Amelia.
Amelia. Yes,
Yeah.
she is a deadly shooter from outside. Deadly shooter. And Georgia Moore. She's gonna be awesome as well.
I seen Kennedy Brooks was talking about how like tall his lineup was going to be. So it's like his lineup, I think, goes from like 6 foot to 6'3", then 6'4", then the 6'6", and then the 6'7". Like that's how his lineup is. Like he's got a tall lineup. He says he's never had that tall of a lineup. And I think that fact for women's, if you've got like a lineup like that, you don't see many girls like that are that tall and like and that I mean you got to rebound good. So
yeah,
I think Kentucky. I'll go ahead and say it. I think your women's team may make the Final Four.
Oh,
I think that they may take. Okay, I'll say this: Elite Eight to Final Four is where I think your women's team will end up.
I think they have a better shot than the men's. I'll put it that way.
I do too. Yeah,
I agree. So Janson, I gotta ask, how loud was that cheer for Rick Pitino coming out there?
And did you tear up?
So now there may be some games that other people have been to in Rupp Arena that I had not been in Rupp Arena, right? Like that game with Anthony Davis in North Carolina. I heard that was a pretty crazy game, but I wasn't there. Personally, that's the loudest I've ever heard it. Personally,
wow,
and it wasn't even a game. It wasn't even a game. It was that loud.
So it was louder than Pope's introduction.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Dang.
Now I seen the other day that the Big East was not very happy of what Rick Pitino was doing, and they said that a resignation was possibly going to be laid on the table. Does that mean that Mark Pope may hire Rick Pitino to be an assistant coach at the University of Kentucky?
That was not real.
Well, I just wanted to say it just to start some controversy.
Okay.
Just wanted to start a little bit.
Cody's trying to put fake news out there.
Oh, what station am I on right here?
Now, could you see that? Let's see, like after the 2-game series that we had with St. John's starting next year, do you see like after maybe him leaving St. John's and Pope maybe hiring him to maybe like recruiting or coaching something like that? Could you see that?
If he was going to put Rick Pitino in a position, I would probably, they haven't designated a general manager spot yet, but that's where you put Rick Pitino.
I like it.
He's so knowledgeable. He can handle, the ins and outs, things like that. Just keep the people. Okay, what am I trying to say? So keep ties with the people that are in the NBA, things like that. Yeah. Just talk to them, things like that. That kind of role in my opinion.
I like that.
Yeah, I agree. Can see that. I agree with that because, I think at the end of the day, I think Pitino's getting a little bit older. I don't know how much longer he could actually coach. Yeah. And you put him in a role like that where he can just kind of sit up, not as much pressure is on him, and he could still give the phone calls. If like you're trying to send the house, Pope's out there doing his thing, got all the assistant coaches going out there, has the former players calling and stuff, and then you get that final send the house call, and it's Rick Pitino on the phone.
I would like to see that. Now I will say St. John's. I think they've got a pretty solid team this year. I think they could make a big run. Now I know they've got to play UConn, who's obviously been dominant. Marquette, they're always a tough team to play, and it's like Seton Hall and everybody. They're always got teams that will compete, for March Madness. But I think that I'll be quite honest with you. I think it may be St. John's and UConn for the Big East to see who will win that section. I think it's going to be UConn. I know they've got a solid team around them. I'm not saying them play, obviously. Yeah, I know they had an exhibition game the other night, but
man, we'll see. You are jumping into the tournament. We've not even played exhibition games yet, bro.
That's what I was talking about. I was talking about exhibition games.
Oh, my bad.
I said UConn had an exhibition game the other night Like I said, I'm not seeing them
I
play.
thought I heard you say tournament, bro. I thought you were talking about the NCAA tournament. I was like, bro, you're out here jumping into March Madness. Bro, you skipping like 6 months of the year, bro.
I do think it's going to be. I have a buddy. He goes. He was going to St. John's. He graduated. Shout out Matt Casanova. He's at the Mets game right now. Go Mets. But you know, he was cracking up because he didn't know that Rick Pitino coached at Kentucky. He was mind blown that he used to coach there. He said he's hardcore on basketball there, so he said he's pretty confident in how they look. So yeah. Well, we'll see though. Hope that'd be cool if we met him in the tournament. That'd be kind of dope.
Yeah. Also, if anybody has tickets to that first Kentucky basketball game, hit me and Cody up because we are trying to go.
I'd love to go.
We will buy them.
I'd like to go to Atlanta. I ain't gonna lie. Tradio, can I help you?
Right.
Tradio. Hey, Brian, I got me a car. It's got no wheels.
Stop. Hey, Brian, I got me a slightly used.
Stop.
Ain't got to go with no gas in it.
It ain't got no gas in it.
I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it. God.
Oh, man, we were supposed to do prank calls today.
We'll do prank. Bush is not even here. We'll do
we'll do them next week. We promise.
Bush, if you watch the end of this, we love you, Bush. Yeah, well, you didn't miss much. We're talking about we
cutting it up with the boys. Oh,
the boys.
I like it. I might get that tattooed on me.
Something real quick. Talking about ball games and stuff. I just checked because I was curious because I don't know if I'll get approved for media credentials for the Arkansas game. Have you looked at the ticket prices for that game?
Unreal.
How much are they?
It's so dumb. It's not dumb, but it's just it doesn't surprise me, but it's unreal.
They're so upper level, like the very top. You're still looking at like $300 a ticket.
That's not even counting fees.
No!
It's
Here, I'm gonna check how much they are with fees. I'm gonna find the cheapest ticket to that game real quick.
Now, Janson, do you think we beat Arkansas?
I don't care if we lose. We can lose every other game. You win that game.
You know what kind of game it could be? It could be like what you said earlier. It could kind of be like a 2012 North Carolina versus Kentucky at home.
Oh, it's
going to be a tight.
That I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope if we sweep Tennessee, beat Arkansas, I don't care if we win another game. And you got to beat Duke. I want us to beat Duke. I can't stand Duke. I hope we beat them by 20 or something. It's not going to happen. We'd like to see that happen. But go ahead, Christian. Sorry.
Let me see. Let's see how much they are with fees. Okay, so the cheapest one I found, like you said, Janson, it was $300. But the next cheapest is $399. I'm going to try not to buy these tickets because I really don't want to spend $600.
If we're good, the price may go up. So you just hold on.
Yeah. Are you going to the first game, Janson? You going to be there?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to the exhibitions, but I'm going to try.
No, I'm talking about the very first game, like the
Wright State. I'm going to try to.
Yeah, because that's what we're trying to go to.
For both of them, for 2 tickets, for the cheapest 2 tickets in the stadium, they're $705.95.
Yes, sir.
And that's you're sitting in the nosebleeds where the air's getting a little thinner. Birds are flying.
I'm sorry.
That's
some fireworks are going off, and you're going like,
you're having to move airplanes. You're up there, man. Like you're almost to like where gravity runs out. That's insane.
I'm sorry.
I guarantee you'll be sold out too.
I just gotta tell you, I'll say it while we're talking. My friend, the St. John's guy, he's at the Mets game, and I think Shohei Ohtani just hit a home run. He goes, "This daggum Asian man, I swear." I was like, dude, come on. I'm like, why? I know he's good, but come on, man. That cracked me up. I'm sorry. I know you're going to blur that out, but
hey, I got to cut that out now, Cody. Thanks.
I
There's
saw.
nothing wrong with saying that. He's
I still gotta cut it.
okay.
I saw a meme with him. I hope you don't have to cut this. It ain't that bad. He said whenever he stole a base the other night, he said that's the first thing he had stolen since like July or something like that.
Oh, you got to get that out.
Yeah, I gotta cut these two out.
Oh god, we'll just cut this whole little part out.
We'll cut the last like 10
yeah.
minutes out. No,
I
you're good.
I forgot we're a Christian.
Well, it's not even that. We're on the radio.
I know.
Oh,
that's why we got cut it.
If we weren't on the radio, we would have to cut it. But
Yeah, that's why I'm glad we're not live on the radio. We're pre-recorded on the radio because me and Cody said some kind of close call stuff.
Yeah,
we said some.
To watch what we say.
Yeah. So if you ever listen to us on Apple Podcast, if you ever listen to us on Apple Podcast or Spotify, you're hearing the uncut version. Just letting you guys know that. But if you're hearing on some Brian O'Brien, you're not even going to hear where I'm saying this. So,
yeah.
But as we begin to wrap up this episode,
Perfect time to segue to the Bible.
Yep, and that's where we're gonna go to is the Bible verses.
Oh
Jesus will.
Yes.
Oh, I like it, Janson. I like it. Cody, you got yours cooked up?
I got it cooked up. You want me to go ahead and say it?
Go ahead, big
I
dog.
got Jeremiah 29:11. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." You know, I know we go through certain things, and I've talked about this on the podcast. You know, and I feel like a lot of people know, but you know, I lost my mom about 4 years ago to a car accident, and people, I hear this all the time. People are like, you know, my life's so hard, and you know, I got to do all these different things, you know, and everything like that. You know, my life just, you know, it sucks, and yeah, you know, it's life. You know, we all go through things, and you know, and people, you know, they blame the Lord for like, well, why doesn't the Lord, you know, do like, you know, and I, you know, I was in that place too for a couple of years. You know, after my mom died, I was like, dude, Lord, why'd you take my mom from me? Like, what was the whole reason and stuff like that, you know? And that's the times that you have to just, you know, you don't need to, you know, ask the Lord questions. You know, we don't have no idea we have no idea why certain things happen, why certain things don't happen. You know, but you know, we just have to, you know, have in our hearts and our minds, you know, we just got to trust the Lord and keep our faith with Him, and you know, because His timing is always perfect, and everything He does is perfect, and everything that He does is not to tear you down, but to, you know, build you up, and you know, because He holds, like I said, He has plans for you. He holds the plans like for your future in His hands. Like He knows what your future is going to be, and He's going to make you a great woman of God or a man of God as you get older. And you know, that's one thing I've really been getting a lot better at is, you know, just sitting down and, you know, thanking the Lord for the blessings He gives us every day. He gives us, like, you wake up every morning, you have food on your table to eat, you have money in your pocket to go spend for food when you get home, and all other things that we have that, you know, that's blessings from the Lord. That's not just because you worked hard, or, I mean, yeah, you worked hard for your money and stuff like that, but, you know, the Lord is, you know, the provider of all things. So, you know, that's just one thing I've been really good at, and hopefully, you know, somebody listening here, and maybe that'll help them. So,
heck yeah, Cody. Heck yeah. So I got 1 Corinthians 16:13. Be on guard, stand firm in faith, be courageous, and be strong. I didn't know what you was doing there for a second, Cody.
I was waving at Casey Evan. Hello.
Oh, hey, what's up? But yeah, in that verse, pretty much, I'm gonna give some hip hop, modern day slang. It means pretty much stand on business. Okay, that's what it means. Be on guard, stand firm in the faith. So if you got that faith in God and you're believing on something, stand on that business, because He's with you. If you believe it, you got that faith, you stand on that. You ain't gonna let that doubt hit your head. You ain't gonna let it happen, because you're staying on business. Okay, you're on business.
I like it.
I like that. I like that attitude.
That's all I got. Janson, if you want to go, you got it.
I don't have one planned because I didn't think that.
No, you're good. That's on us.
No, you're good.
I didn't know you each shared one. Next time I'm on, I got you. One thing that I'll just talk about real quick, and it kind of correlates to this program that I'm doing in the schools that I go to.
Uh-huh.
So I'm a health educator in the Lake Cumberland area down here. We cover 10 counties, so I go to 10 counties about almost every week, going to schools, do a program talking about all these different things, character development, talking about positive influences, positive people, things like that. Today we were talking a little bit about value. Okay. One thing I did was I got a student up here, and I give them it's a play money $20 bill. I don't give them my own money because you never know. But what I have them do is I have them fold it up, and just and then I unfold it and I ask them, "Is this $20 bill still worth $20?" Right? And they say, "Well, yeah, it is." Okay, then I'm like, "Okay, well, wad it up, throw it on the ground, step on it, whatever you want to do." Okay, I pick it up and wad it. I can still spend it, right? It's still worth $20. So the whole point of that is life is going to step on us. Life is going to, life's going to be hard. Things are going to happen. Hard things are going to happen in our life, right? Life's not fair. Never is fair. It never was fair. Bad things happen to good people, right? But what the whole point of that activity is no matter what life does to you, you still have that value, is what I
Yeah.
try to teach to these kids, that you have that value and they don't hear it enough, that you need to realize that about yourself before you can go on and do better things. So
I love that. That's awesome.
That's so
I
cool.
I feel like I've seen the video on that too, and I like that you do that with kids. That is so important for the youth of the generation to understand that we're uniquely made in God's image. And
Mhm.
that's and thinking about that is just so cool. Like God made you a certain way. That was because the plans He has for you. It all comes together like that. But it's just so cool that the Creator of this universe, the creator of the trees, the air you breathe, the grass, the ground you walk on. He is. I mean, and He's a God that is always beside you. He's always near. He's not afar, and He hears the prayers. Every prayer that you pray, He's always listening. And that is so cool that that guy, like him, is just, it's so mind blowing. It's something that I just can't comprehend.
Mhm.
And that's just another reason to keep putting your faith and everything into Him like that. Uh, He's given so much to us that why should we blame Him for the bad things that happen in our lives?
Mhm.
Jesus died on the cross because He loved us so much. Not even, He Jesus. You may not even have a personal relationship with Jesus, but He still died on the cross for you because He cared and loved for us so much.
Mhm.
Like that kind of makes me kind of tear up, like not tear up, but like kind of get emotional a little bit because I know like I wouldn't do that for somebody. I work in a store that I get aggravated with people all the time. And
Yeah.
Christian, you work at a bank. I know you get aggravated with people all the time, and I know Janson, you got people that you get aggravated with all the time.
Yeah.
And that goes to another Bible verse, like you're supposed to love your neighbor like you love yourself.
Yeah.
Always show kindness. And as Christians, that's an example we try to be. We try to be kind and loving to people because that's what Jesus would do. Jesus wouldn't, try to beat you in the head because, they gave me the wrong dollar bill or something like that, fussing about something. But,
Yeah. Well,
like, yeah, I love that, Jansen. That's awesome. I do. I love that.
yeah, and like you were saying, like the worthless, like is it worthless now because you crumbled it up? And I think a lot of times in today's society, we've like I know that we're on social media right now. We're going live on it. I mean, there's some good perks to it, but there's a lot of bad on social media, and it's like you got good influencers and you got bad influencers. Hopefully we're the good on that good side. But I mean, there's
Yeah.
some. It's like you look at these people and it's like, oh, they're so famous and they've got so much money and all this. Like I want to be that, but I'm not that because I'm not in that situation. So I must be worthless. And like I mean, even in just like everyday life, it's like, oh, they look like they've got it all together. And I'll be honest, the older I've gotten, like everybody that looks like they've got it all together, they don't. Like it's like
No.
they just they put on a good act. Like that's one thing I've noticed. Like me, I'm gonna try to smile at you. Like if you see me out in public, and like you run into me at a grocery store or some store, I'm probably gonna smile at you, say, "Hey, how are you?" Da da da. I'll try to be nice. Sometimes, man, I don't want to see people. Like, I'll be honest, like the other day, I was like, I looked at my parents and I just like, they looked at me. I was like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm leaving. I'm just gonna go sit in my car somewhere and just chill out for a few minutes. Like that's just where I get sometimes, man. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Just get overstimulated. But anyways, God is good. Janson, thank you for hopping on with us. You've been awesome.
Really, you've been the best, dude.
We truly appreciate it.
Made it through a whole episode.
Dude, we love it. We love it. Let's go. Janson, before we go, plug all your socials, everything that you're tied to.
Please.
And your social security number.
Start
with that real quick. Let me get the pen and paper.
Yeah. So on the Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, it is just my name, Janson Hoskins. I write for a media outlet called Cats Coverage. It's at Cats Coverage or catscoverage.com. Follow us on there. Whatever you want to do, I appreciate it. Any follow, welcome. You know, not no insight or anything like that, but I can give you some factual information.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Now,
human knowledge.
Now, real quick, can we all flip our hats to the front really quickly, please? Because I'm going to shout out one other company. They don't ask for this, but we do it anyways because they are a great hat brand. They're the best. At Staylight & Co. on Twitter and all socials. We appreciate them. You know, they're always here watching, and you know they're good people. Go get a hat. They got T-shirts, hats, all this stuff. We really appreciate them. We shout out to them as well. And again, shout out Cats Coverage and all that stuff.
Shout out to them. Thank you guys for tuning in. Go give us a follow. Go rate us 5 stars on whatever you want to rate us 5 stars on. As long as it's not 4, because we are 5-star athletes. Well, Cody is. Cody is a 5-star athlete, so he deserves a 5-star rating.
I'll switch to the basketball jersey if y'all didn't even notice. I had the football jersey on there.
I see you.
And for you people that are watching on the radio, I know it's Saturday, so go Cats. It's or listening. I hope you ain't watching it. I don't even think that's possible while you're driving. Go to church on Sunday. Man, go to church on Sunday. Go Cats. It's going to be early in the morning. Hopefully you're not working. Hopefully you get the day off. We appreciate you guys listening, and we appreciate Brian O'Brien at 106.3 The Big One for letting us be on here in the mornings. So,
and as always, go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Oh.